Hi, I'm Jake Grez, also known as Nurse Jake. As a travel nurse, I've worked in all kinds of places, different settings, cities, and climates. Every assignment brings on a new challenge, which is why I always bring my figs. These scrubs are built for whatever the job throws at you. They're breathable, flexible, and comfortable in any environment. No matter where I land, I know they're going to keep me looking and feeling my best. And don't sleep on the details. The pockets, the features, the finishing touches, everything has a purpose, and it makes a real difference when you're moving nonstop. The fit is clean, tailored, and super polished, and they come in a huge range of colors. In other words, they feel great throughout a 12-hour shift, and they always look good. See every healthcare professional on Instagram. If you work in healthcare or know someone who does, check out Figs and get 15% off your first order at wearfigs.com with code FIGSRX. That's wearfigs.com, code FIGSRX.
Want to watch this episode? Check it out on my YouTube channel by going to youtube.com/@lanternslive. Welcome to Lanterns Live, the only live stream YouTube channel dedicated solely to the world of Green Lantern. I am Ralph with Vactor, which means we are chatting about Green Lantern Corps, specifically Green Lantern Corps 19. I usually do this. There's this thing under my name where I can put Lanterns Live, so that everybody can follow me and know where to follow me on like Threads and Blue Sky, which I haven't been using lately, and Instagram and stuff. I used to just save it. And now I forget that I should add that. And you added yours, but you should, because everybody should be over at This Comic Cooks over on YouTube and TikTok. Yeah. So just before we went live, I was chatting a little bit about Green Lantern or the show Lanterns with Vactor. If you want to hear me chat more about the show that I've seen 7 episodes of, you can head over to become an honor guard by hitting join on right here on YouTube. So yeah, Will wants Blue Sky to work, but gets so little engagement. Me too, and I'm sure you're getting even less engagement now that I'm not there anymore. So my apologies, but it's just like nothing. And I don't have an outlet to for my personal stuff. Like if I just want to say something, I could do that on Blue Sky, and that's where I've been doing it.
I noticed you using Threads a lot.
I'm doing that with Lanterns because I'm getting a lot of people seeing my stuff and liking my stuff. They're not following me, which is what I want. I want more people to follow me so that they know that I'll be doing a live stream after every episode of Lanterns airs, immediately following every episode of Lanterns. Which, if you have the HBO Max app, and you have a different user logins on that app, you can now add either Hal Jordan or Jon Stewart as your avatar. And
Ooh.
with 3 more coming in the following weeks. So I'm assuming there'll be a Sinestro, maybe a Sheriff Carey,
Ooh.
maybe a William Macon, maybe a Zoe. But yeah, I mean, I've this week I've been going through it. Vactor, you were there for my stream on Monday, and where I said that my cat came back from the vet. She's laying down here next to me, and is literally she's I think she's 17. I think she'll be 18 on September 9th, or she'll be 17 on September 9th. I can't remember if she's already 17 or if she's currently, or she's gonna be 17. It wasn't a good, after the stream, it was not a good conversation.
Oh no.
When she got back. She's maybe got days to live. So It's been really, really rough here at my house. Also my car engine froze up.
Oh,
and
dang.
Today I got word from the mechanic that it needs to be a full rehaul, and that'll be $7,000. And I'm like,
dang.
I'm not John Campea. I'm not Brandon Davis or Jenna. I'm not Soups. And so it's like, it's been like the last 3 days since I last signed off have been just like kind of brutal. Dang. I mean, Vesper's health has been in decline for a couple months now. Stevie's been doing everything in her power to keep her healthy. She seems okay now. She's just sleeping. She's literally right next to me. I don't know if I can tilt my camera without unplugging everything. There she is. She's just sleeping. And so like about every 2 minutes, I'll look at her and make sure she's still breathing. Like that's where we're at. So yeah, it's been a crazy day. And so like, listen, I'm not like one to go on like Blue Sky or Twitter or something and just like sort of complain, but like I need some way to vent, and just like Blue Sky it just sucks. So it's been a little bit of a rough one.
Dang. Sorry to hear that, Ralph.
Yeah. Back to this. Will says they have a cartoon Jon Stewart and now live action Hal and John. I've been using Eric Wareheim. I don't know for those of you who are fans of Tim and Eric. For some reason, there's an Eric Wareheim one in there. I've had that since day one because I thought that was the funniest one to have on there. But yeah, now I moved it to Hal. So it's gonna be Hal for now. And I might just change them with each passing week as Lanterns comes out. I'll just go along with whatever the new one is. So I think this week will be Hal. When episode 2 comes out, I'll move over to John and just keep. It doesn't matter. No one's gonna see it. But it's just fun to be able to open up an app and see freaking Hal Jordan. Like what? That's crazy. Because Green Lantern is not like a thing that like
Superman
the public knows about. And we're talking about the show, and you were asking me if it's more like, what did you ask? If it was more superhero-y or if it was going to be
people who like superheroes, are they going to like Lanterns?
And I said the opposite. I said that most likely regular people who aren't into superheroes, the show is going to be for them because it doesn't hit you over the head with the superhero stuff. But it is a good gateway into getting them into Green Lantern.
Nice.
Which I've said it before, and I've heard Tom King and Damon Lindelof mention that it's easiest to start with an Earth story so that people can get acquainted with what the potential of Green Lantern is before just dumping all of like 80 years of lore on everybody. Right. So yeah. So yeah, I think the show is built, and James Gunn said this from the get-go when he did this Gods and Monsters announcement, that this is a terrestrial-based Earth show and in the style of True Detective, and this is exactly what it is. Nice. We've had something like 2 or 3 years, whenever that announcement was, to come to terms with that. It took me a while because, of course, I want like galactic stuff. I want a huge like Jeff Johns style thing. The problem is that people like studios aren't going to take a chance on Green Lantern because of the Ryan Reynolds movie, which Ryan Reynolds for the last 15 years has continued to pick at that scab and keep it fresh in people's mind. So if they're going to be able to get a Green Lantern show done, if this is how they have to do it, by doing a low budget, slow burn, sort of murder mystery in a small town, if that's the way they have to get Green Lantern in front of eyeballs, then fine. I'm happy as long as Green Lantern is relevant. And our friend Mark Vibert, who's been in LA for the last week doing work, he keeps sending me these photos from around town of posters everywhere. Green Lantern is being slapped on every single billboard in Los Angeles. Lanterns is on the Warner Brothers water tower at Warner Brothers Studio. Like it's like this is like, for me, like I just like the Green Lantern attention. The show may not be what I want because, of course, I want a huge galactic space like Guardians of the Galaxy style, barely takes place on Earth, space opera. That's what I want. And that's what a lot of people want. But I'm happy that we're getting anything. We're getting comic accurate Hal and John. The casting is perfect. We're getting a comic accurate Sinestro. The casting is perfect. Everybody on this show is perfect. The writing is excellent. The visuals are amazing. The effects are great. It's just a smaller scale. But if it does well, like HBO is hoping, or like the trailer view numbers are showing, then HBO and Warner Brothers will have more faith in this than they ever had with Green Lantern. And they could start making their way towards that sort of Jeff Johns, Blackest Night, Sinestro Corps War run. They can do things like what Morgan Hampton's doing in Green Lantern Corps 19, which we will get to. It's just, I told Vactor this, I said, hey, this is going to be the last stream before Lanterns is here. So we're going to just chatting a little bit about Lanterns. Thank you, Will. So Hunter's in the chat asks, what's your thoughts on the HBO's cancel the Waller and Paradise Lost? And I don't think DC Studios canceled the other two shows. Do you have any thoughts on Waller? And I'm a GL dude, so for me, like, I'm like, okay, sure, Waller, that's fine. Paradise Lost, I was more interested in. It's fine. Do you have thoughts on these shows being canceled?
Well, I'm disappointed because, as I was telling you before we started, really, Lanterns and Superman are the projects that have had almost little to no changes from the announcement of Gods and Monsters, what we thought was going to be the plan. Most of that stuff has not panned out. And it's it's frustrating when you get so excited for something where Marvel is announcing a million projects and then you never see them. DC is now doing this, and I thought I had more faith in James Gunn that it was like, okay, he's got the handle on this. He's greenlighting everything, And I liked what he said about, I will only do it if the story is right. But then I liked Supergirl. I didn't love it. And so I was like, what about Supergirl made him think, okay, this one has to be greenlit. This one has to be fast tracked to be the next project after Superman. I don't really like, my faith in the James Gunn choice system is now a little bit wavering, but I'm hoping Lanterns brings me back up. But I wanted to see those. I wanted to see Paradise Lost. I wanted to see Waller. Everything that was announced in Gods and Monsters, I was like, oh, this is great. I want to see all of this. Yeah. Authority,
Booster Gold.
Yeah. Booster Gold. I need a Booster Gold show movie.
But it sounds like they're just going with a different creative team behind Booster Gold, which again means that the script wasn't ready and it was announced or something was up. I don't even know how these things happen. But it could be one of those things where they do a script, he likes the script, he wants a green light, they go over the budget, and it just can't work that way, and so it has to be redone. I don't know if that's the case. It would be, man, if we could be a fly on the wall to hear about these production meetings, like what gets the go-ahead, I would love to hear this. That would be fascinating to me. Yeah. I'm kind of hoping with Paradise Lost being canceled, though, is that we will possibly get an inclusion of Wonder Woman and Man of Tomorrow. And based off of that, they will be working on their Wonder Woman solo project that Anna Nogueira is writing. And we can sort of move forward with just get into just Diana and not really do a show that's kind of floating around her. So... you know what? I'm fine. I don't need a billion things. Marvel fatigue is real. DC fatigue can be real. I'll tell you this, like, the thing about I like about Lanterns, it's a completely different tone than Superman. It's a completely different tone than Supergirl. All three of these things have completely different tones. Even Peacemaker has a different tone. So for me, with Lanterns, it's helping me with any sort of DC fatigue. Guy Gardner is in Lanterns, and from what I understand, even though it's portrayed by Nathan Fillion, he brings the tone that's required for this show. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, like, when you read DC Comics, you could read, like, Mike Allred, my buddy Mike Allred. You could read a Batman book about him, about Batman, that's a really fun, quirky, psychedelic, sort of Silver Age style Batman. Or you can read, like, Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns. And characters can pop up around, and their tone shifts from book to book based on what the story dictates. And I feel like, from what I've heard, that Nathan Fillion sort of changes his version of Guy to fit this narrative. So for me, I feel like what I like about the three things that have come out so far in the Peacemaker season 2, I guess, is that they're all different tones. They're letting the sort of creators do their thing. It sounds like a lot of the issues with Supergirl came with post-production. It sounded like there was a lot of edits. Apparently the studio did a cut, and Greg Gillespie did a cut, and they ultimately went with, I believe, the studio cut. So yeah, Vesper wanted to leave and I can't get to the door. So I had to text Stevie. So she's now out and she's going to go eat, which is good because she needs to eat. So yeah, for me with like Lanterns and stuff, and so like, I don't feel like everything needs to be interconnected. I feel like Supergirl kind of stands as a standalone thing. Just Superman happened to show up. It wasn't really tied to Superman. I feel like Lanterns is the same thing. James Gunn said that it has to do with salvation, or there's something involved in Lanterns. I'm not sure what that is, but it feels like its own thing. I love that DC Comics, you don't have to read everything to understand. Like, I didn't read DCKO. You read DCKO. And DCKO had sort of the setup for Guy as the All-Sight. And even though I missed that book, I was able to continue reading Green Lantern Corps and fully understand what's going on. So the fun thing about what the DCU is doing so far is Clayface might not connect to Superman, but it can still live in the same world without you having to do homework. It's one of the things that I don't like about the Marvel movies with the continuity is so somewhat airtight, where I feel like when I watch something, I'm going to miss out because I didn't do my homework by watching Loki season 2, or by not seeing Echo, or not seeing Eternals, or the Marvels. Like there's a lot of Marvel stuff I missed out on just because of Marvel fatigue, and I got tired of watching all the Marvel stuff, that when I go into like Spider-Man Brand New Day, I'm like, shoot, well, I hope I understand who these characters are that show up, because I honestly, I just can't keep up with that amount of Marvel. With the DCU, I like that it's new, but I also like that even though Superman was like the first thing, they could drop in Guy Gardner, Hawkgirl, Mr. Terrific, with no origin story.
Right.
And just, it felt like I already know these characters from the book. If there's a character that I don't know, I can go pick up a book. It feels like reading comics. So as much as like, I'm not sad about Waller, but if Waller existed, I'd watch it. And then people are like kind of being shitty on the Jimmy Olsen show. It's like, why? It sounds like it's going to be set up as a different tone. It's going to be set up like a documentary style, like a Inside Edition or one of those like news shows. And like, great. I haven't seen a comic book show like that, with the exception of what was the one about oh gosh, the Mandarin? Wasn't there something like that for the Mandarin in Marvel? There was like a special or something that was almost like an expose on the Mandarin. So for me, like, I'm like, let's go for it. Let's have a Jimmy Olsen show. Why not? And people are getting mad at it because it's like, oh, it's just going to be a dumb comedy. And it's like, well, guess what? If you go to a comic book store, you're going to find in that huge rack of comics, you're going to find one that's a dumb comedy. So I like that DC feels like it's doing the comic route, and you don't have to do your homework to watch Lanterns. People who are not invested in DCU, who are subscribers to HBO, are going to be able to pop it on and say, oh, that's the guy from Friday Night Lights. Oh, this show is really intriguing. You know?
Yeah.
So, I'm
really interested to see after, let's say, 5 years from now. Let's skip ahead. We jump ahead to 5 years, and we look back on this era of DC. What are we going to look like? Is it going to be something that was a cohesive story, or is it going to feel like almost?
Need it. I don't need the cohesive. I don't need everything to be in line with everything. I don't need it. I'm a James Bond fan. If there's anybody else who's watched a James Bond movie up until the Daniel Craig era, continuity was out the window. It didn't matter. James Bond meets Blofeld, the main villain, basically the Thanos of James Bond, meets him in one movie, and in the following movie, they don't recognize each other. Because continuity didn't matter. There were all one shots that took place whenever. So for me, I much prefer to be able to, I want people to be able to, like, who show up just for Lanterns are able to enjoy Lanterns season 1. They don't have to go watch Man of Tomorrow to understand whatever's going to happen in season 2 of Lanterns and know what's happening with John. Like, the continuity of Star Wars and the continuity of Marvel is exhausting. It's too much. It's too much to ask for us to be completists just so we can follow along a story. So having things compartmentalized is great for me. I don't mind if other characters pop in. What was it? She-Hulk. So I watched She-Hulk, and I hadn't watched Daredevil. But when Daredevil showed up, I wasn't confused. But it made me want to go watch Daredevil. So for me, I really don't want to rely on having to see other stuff to enjoy a certain story. So I love the way the DC's doing it right now. And I'm totally fine. I'm excited for Jimmy Olsen. And like I say with Star Wars, you don't have to like all of it. There's enough Star Wars out there for, like, your kid. There's stuff out there for, like, grown-ups. You can watch Andor. You could watch Star Wars Resistance. Like, not everything's for everybody. And I think that DC should be the same way. I'm not a horror fan. So I'm a little apprehensive about Clayface. You know? So if I miss Clayface, which I'm not, I'm going to go see Clayface, but because I'm a DC fan. But if I miss Clayface, I don't think that should sort of mess up Man of Tomorrow for me. Right. I feel like you have a kid. You would show your child Superman, right?
Yes. I took him to the theater.
And in Superman, there's an appearance by Peacemaker, who in a different show has a full-on orgy in a house with hardcore sex and nudity and full frontal nudity. You're not going to show your kid that. And your kid's not going to miss anything between Superman and Man of Tomorrow because they missed Peacemaker. So I think it's fine. I think it's fine compartmentalized, but it's always fun to see Guy Gardner show up in Peacemaker. You know? So for me, I'm fine with all this. I don't need all of this. Before we get into Green Lantern Corps 19, which I'm very excited to talk about, I just want to go through a couple of questions. Krypton 3768, Hal Jordan for life. Agree. Hal in season finale could break bad as Parallax. I don't know. I have not seen the finale of Lanterns, but I mean, listen, just the fact that Parallax is in discussion for an HBO series after 2011, I never thought people would be talking about Parallax. So it's great. Will says Jimmy Olsen's show in production, and rumors are saying it's already done some filming. Great. I'm looking forward to that because, I mean, listen, like Gorilla Grodd, we got Gorilla Grodd in the Flash in the Arrowverse, and so like that famous shot of him walking into the room and says Barack Obama when Barack Obama was like in college.
Yes.
Okay, so Peter Pohl, please make a live reaction on the episode 1 and all the episodes or uploaded videos of the episodes. Okay. So here's the thing. I won't do a full reaction. I won't do like where I just watch the episode along with you because I don't know how to, like, I'd get demonetized and I'd have to like do so much production time on that. But Peter, please subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell notification because Sunday, as soon as Lanterns is done airing, I'm going to get up from my couch and I'm going to sit here and I'm going to talk about Lanterns.
Yes.
Factor, I don't know what your schedule is like, but you're more than welcome to join. Will has an open invitation, and I have some other people that I want to join in as well. So I will be here. So Sunday, as soon as you watch Lanterns, if you watch it right when it airs, you can flip over to YouTube, and I will be live.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's with every episode. I have set my schedule up, and I let people know that usually I do stuff on Sundays that night. I go to an improv show here in Los Angeles, and I'm going to miss out on some of those improv shows because they're usually at 7:30. So I'm going to be live on here at 7:00 Pacific time. That's when after Lanterns airs. But there's 1 week where I heard that the improv show is at 9:30 and that Jason Ritter is going to be the host of that improv show. And I will let you guys know if you're in the Los Angeles area. I'm going to finish my episode of Lanterns Live, go to LA, and be at that 9:30 show with Jason Ritter, who's playing Billy Macon in Lanterns. So I'm gonna show up in full GL gear and try to get him to come on the show once we are all said and done. Also, by the way, just speaking of schedules, I brought this up on the stream. Like, listen, guys, there's a lot of irons in the fire. And as soon as Lantern's done, there's certain people I'm going to talk to, including Jeff Johns is a yes. So he's gonna be coming on the show at some point after this month. He's busy this month, but he said he is a yes. One of the writers of Lanterns wants to do the show, but is very busy, but put me in touch with someone else from the show. So that's good. I've also talked to the prop master of Lanterns. Hey, Jeff watches Lanterns Live. He created the power battery. He created the rings and all the props in the show.
Nice.
After the show is done, he can talk about all the props that he made for the show. We don't want to have him on early because there might be some big props that he wants to talk about that, happen later. So there's a lot of irons in the fire.
Nice.
So please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Anna Noguera needs a co-writer, maybe Alex Arlen. I don't know. Again, I think a lot of the issues with Supergirl happened in post-production. I'd like to read her actual script. Vector wants Will's thoughts on Jimmy.
Yes. I got to say something real quick because there was a thing that came out last year with James Gunn where he said he gave an interview with Screen Rant, I believe it was. I made a TikTok out of it, and for some reason, it's one of my most popular TikToks of all time. James Gunn says this whole DC universe is being told from one person's point of view, and he goes, "You'll never guess who it is." I think it is Jimmy Olsen. I think he is shaping this, like the whole thing is going to be Jimmy's story when it's all said and done. So this Jimmy show, I think, is going to be very important.
This is an interesting one. I have to think about this one. Will says, by the time Lanterns is over, no character in the DCU will have had more screen time than Jon Stewart.
Ooh.
I don't know.
Well, how long is Superman?
Peacemaker?
Oh, yeah, Peacemaker.
Well, I mean, John's in 8 episodes of Lanterns. So is Hal Jordan.
Well, are we counting the first season of Peacemaker? Or are we only counting the second season? Because I think
That's
Peacemaker, if you count everything,
DCU,
I think Peacemaker.
But Peacemaker was in season 2 was definitely the DCU.
And that was 8 episodes. So that would be equal to John. Well, John also has the movies then. So, yeah. If you're only doing one season, then yes, John. If you're doing 2 seasons, I think Peacemaker.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I do like that.
Yeah.
These in the chat. What are my thoughts on Guy Gardner showing up in the Mr. Miracle series? I heard that today. I'm very excited, and it will be voiced by Nathan Fillion, which is funny because he usually voices Hal Jordan in the animated. Wishing Guy would go back to being a warrior. We're going to talk about Guy in a second here. Let me get through these. Would you believe Hal might embrace Fury after the finale of season 1? Krypton really wants to see Parallax. My sister Sarah asks, are we going to see Clayface? I'm seeing Clayface. I'm going to see it.
Yes.
Garrett Dillahunt is in fact Black Hand. What are you basing this off of? Because I saw the snippets. The news outlets were saying Garrett Dillahunt says his character wears a lantern ring in the series. But if you watch the actual interview, he says he got the chance to wear one of the lantern rings on set. He didn't say his character wore a lantern ring. He said him, Garrett Dillahunt, a person, probably borrowed Aaron Pierre or Kyle Chandler, I guess it's one ring, got to put on one of their rings.
That is way different.
I'm not sure what is. Oh, Jason Ritter, yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have to figure that out, Sarah. If you want to go to that show, like I'm literally gonna finish Lanterns Live and be up. So it may be something where people are just gonna have to meet me at the
go, Sarah, go.
All right.
And I got to say thank you to Ralph for my necklace.
It finally happened.
Green Lantern necklace.
How long ago did I get those? I've been promising you that for so long. It was like maybe a month or two after Superman, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, life is busy. Yes. I had a plan though. I was me and Stevie were like, I was like, okay, this is what I need to do. Go to Five Below. And when I go to Five Below, I know they have mailers. It's like they get like 2 mailers for like $1.25. And so like we went to Five Below. I'm like, got the mailers. And as soon as I did that, I sent it like later that week. So it was just one of those things where I just needed to get the things in motion. Yeah, I didn't keep my necklace part. And this doesn't even fit my pinky. Like it doesn't.
Oh, wow.
They're real small. Yeah, it fits your pinky.
I want to put it on the middle
your pinky's
finger.
less buff than mine. Mine are big, meaty, chunky, husky hands. All right. Vector. We've been singing the praises of Morgan Hampton's Green Lantern Corps for a really long time now. We had him on between episode or issue 18 and this one 19. And we talked to him. Folks, if you haven't checked that out, check it out. Forgive us for the first 12 minutes of questionable audio quality. It gets sorted out. But Morgan, he was really happy with this run, and he was excited for us to see the finale of this arc. And we were excited to read it, and now we've read it. What did you think of Green Lantern Corps 19?
It is continuing its run, Morgan Hampton. I don't want you to not be great. I don't want you to drop the ball, because you are setting a bar right now for yourself that is going to be very difficult to top. Green Lantern Corps number 19 was fantastic. I loved it from start to finish, and it's a great ending for this arc, whatever this arc is going to be called. I
don't know what it's called. Usually we have like the Starbreaker Supremacy,
right,
or Rebirth, or No Fear. Like, I don't know what this arc is called, even to the point where I posted it on Threads that we were going to be discussing this today, and we were very excited. I tagged Morgan Hampton and the artists on the book. We only have, I think, 2 pencilers this time around. And Morgan reposted it and said, it's the finale of this arc. And he still didn't name what the arc was. I have no idea what to call this. But it's this Aya and Manhunter arc. It's basically Aya. If you haven't seen Green Lantern, the animated series, check it out. Jeremy Adams and Morgan Hampton have brought Razor and Aya from that series into the comics. They're now part of the comic canon. And it basically makes it sound like the show is canon to the comics. And I know I was just saying that I don't need everything to be canon, but when we only got 1 season of Green Lantern in the animated series, it is nice to have a continuation of those characters. But yeah, basically it's Aya has been corrupted by a manhunter and is basically like Independence Day style, like taking over a bunch of manhunters, all from like this single source. And this is like the culmination of this story arc, which has been like going for, I think, 7-ish. This is the 7th one, maybe. And just like wonderful. I loved it. I loved it. I thought it was great. You read it before I did. You said you're good. You said that I was going to love it, and it's true. I did. It's one of those arcs that, like, I feel like this is, and there's nothing against the Jeremy Adams co-writer run of Green Lantern Corps with Morgan Hampton, but I feel like this arc feels like the first like major thing that Morgan Hampton has done with this book on his own. I want to say that the arc before this felt like him sort of tying up loose ends or tying up story from like Jeffrey Thorne's run of Green Lantern, like bringing in some of those characters and kind of like tying up some loose ends with that, but then also setting the plate for what he wants to do moving forward. And this arc was the first time we were able to see what he was capable of once he was finished setting the table. This arc is so fun. It's so good. Anybody out there who thinks that Lanterns, the show based on the trailer, that that show's going to have Martian manhunters, no. This story is about manhunters, not Martian manhunters. So I suggest, if you guys want to know what the difference between Martian manhunters and like white Martians and stuff and manhunters, this is a great arc to read. This is a really great arc to read because it's all about manhunters. And I think it's set up in a way where it's not confusing. You don't have to know too much going into it to understand what a manhunter is. And if you're watching the show, and I know there's manhunters mentioned in the trailer, and you want to know more about manhunters, definitely check out this arc. It was just a ton of fun. Again, I earlier mentioned that I hadn't read DCKO, and Guy Gardner showed up in this book as the All Sight, a thing I wasn't really thrilled about when this started. But Morgan Hampton does this thing where he's able to make me care about the characters and what they're going through. Like, I never cared about Ellie Mae. He made me care about Ellie more. Is it Ellie Mae? It's Ellie.
Yeah.
And then Kelly, the Teen Lantern. Never really cared about that character. Came from Jeffrey Thorne's run, which I still need to finish. Made me care about that character. Morgan Hampton's really good about taking things that already exist and putting a spin on them that make me excited. So with Guy Gardner and this All Sight thing, I couldn't care less. Because someone mentioned Guy Gardner earlier being Warrior, Guy Gardner Warrior, Guy Gardner Red Lantern. Guy Gardner's been all kinds of stuff, and now he's this All Sight, and I'm like, great. They're trying to do something with Guy Gardner to make him interesting or feel more important. But at the end of the day, was a Green Lantern Corps 17 where I'm like, holy smokes, like I like Guy Gardner as the All Sight, and I really like what Morgan Hampton does. Morgan Hampton's really, really good at making you care about characters you didn't care about.
Fatality
and
was
that
one
all
that I didn't
culminates.
care about.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now I do.
And totally. It's crazy what he's done with this All Sight thing. I am not the biggest fan. There's something in here that I'm not the biggest fan of. In general, just as far as like Green Lantern goes, this goes into the whole Morgan Hampton making me like something that I normally don't like. Jeff Johns came on to Green Lantern back in 2005 and created the Spectrum. And he created all the different colors of the spectrum: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, white lanterns, black lanterns. And they all had their own unique thing, and they all had their oath. And then I'm like, that's cool. Way to go. And then somewhere along the line, I think it was Venditti, came up with, it's all murky to me, the Gold Lantern. And then there's the Gold Lantern, and the Gold Lantern had their oath. And then Jeremy Adams came in and he created the Gray Lantern of Sorrow and came up with an oath. And it's one of those things where I'm just like, it feels like since Jeff Johns, every writer's tried to create their own core with their own oath and put a emotion tied to it. And it always drives me nuts. It's always like, it's like people, it's like graffiti. Like they're trying to make their mark and get everybody to, to notice like, hey, I'm the creator of this. Mm-hmm. And usually they kind of go away. Sorrow Lantern went away. Gold Lantern went away. But now there's this All Sight, and this All Sight's like a chrome. Like Guy turns into chrome because basically all the entities at once are sort of allowing the lanterns to use their energy. And so Guy is getting it all at once, right? And he's like this chrome, which looks kind of cool. And he gives Jess the power, and she looks kind of cool. And I'm like, okay, so now we're dealing with chrome lanterns. Would you call this chrome lanterns or something else?
That's what I would say.
Yeah. And they have their oath. And I'm like, okay, let me read this new oath. And I was like, here we go. And I was like, okay, yeah, okay. Oh, okay. I like the last line of oath that mentions the spectrum. And so for me, Morgan Hampton did the thing where I'm like, oh boy, here's another Green Lantern writer trying to create a whole new core just so they can like say that they did it. And, but this one I was like, I kind of like it. I hope it doesn't go away like Gold Lantern and the Gray Lantern. I hope it doesn't just kind of fizzle out. I hope he explores this idea. They're not necessarily white lanterns.
That's what I was seeing some confusion online about people. They're like, "How does this differentiate from White Lanterns?" Like they were like, "What makes them different?"
Yeah.
Does White Lanterns use every emotion like Guy does?
Yeah.
Here?
So in Green Lantern New Guardians, which was a Kyle book, highly recommend. I love that. Ooh. It's during like the Brightest Day run. I think it was around that time when we had like 4 books. Basically, it follows Kyle going basically through everything. There's a point where he has like all the rings on of like each spectrum, and he's got this crazy like weird. It's like a grayish outfit, and there's like a Green Lantern Sapphire logo, like a Sinestro Corps logo. Like he had all the logos. It was a very, very interesting look. But about halfway through that run, he takes all of that and basically turns into the one and only White Lantern, which is not necessarily an emotional spectrum thing. It's the power of life. Basically the power of life. So the way that the Black Lanterns are the Lanterns of Death. So it's a little bit different. It's the White Lantern's more about life, but it initially did allowed, I'm trying to think if this is right, allowed Kyle to wield the white because he was in tune with every single emotion. He had compassion, he had willpower, he had love, he did have rage, basically everything. He was able to was able to wield them all. This is a little bit different. This is like all of the entities funneling their powers into one power and funnel that into basically Guy. Like it doesn't feel like it's not like I feel like Kyle Rayner earned the White Lantern based on the way he was able to wield all emotions. This just feels like Guy is a conduit for all of the emotions, lending their powers to him.
Okay.
Right. And I think it's really interesting because they're on Oa and there's all the different batteries. Star Sapphire's still not there. I don't know what's going on with Star Sapphire. I think we brought that up to Morgan, and I think we just have to wait and see. Yeah. But so you have the all the color power batteries in this square, like a not a square like the shape, but a square like a place in this plaza. And now in the middle of that plaza, there's this pool of chrome. So I'm thinking like a T1000 sort of pool of chrome where all the entities are basically, I feel like, living. Like they're not trapped in the batteries anymore, which I thought was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like this basically says that the Guardians were basically entrapping the entities and using their powers basically without their sort of
consent.
What do you call that? Consent.
Yeah. Well, that's par for the course with the Guardians.
Right. Totally on par with the course. So I love that Morgan Hampton was like, I'm gonna like, he's like, it feels like he's like reevaluating what the entities were and was like, they're basically like kind of like zoo animals or they're captive.
Yes.
And the Guardians were basically leeching off of them to create their core. So for this, I like the idea where there's a pool. There's like a pool where they can live in, but they can come and go as they please, I'm assuming. It feels like they're less. And because of this freedom, they're like, cool, we'll all pitch in our powers and give them to you. Man, those. Can we talk about the artwork in this? There it is.
Finally,
right?
Yes.
So I like this. I like this idea so much. Like the entities, cool. Like ever since Jeff Johns created the entities and Parallax, the Parallax entity, and there was like Ion and stuff like this. I never thought of it as they were being trapped, even though we know that they were kind of trapped in the lantern or in the power battery. So it's really cool that he's not just like rewriting the lore, but making it better without sort of like a social commentary. Because I never thought about the entities having, emotions, but they are. And of course, like, I don't know. Here's the thing. I'm going to say this. After our last episode, Morgan Hampton reached out and said, let me know anytime you want me on the show. So we're going to have to talk to him at some point, maybe between Lanterns episodes, because I want to talk about this issue a lot. Like, I want to ask him questions about this whole idea of the entities, because the entities were living in that black hole area, in that whatever he even forgot the name of it, the entity zone. Right. I know it's not the entity zone, but he was talking about that. Like they were perfectly happy there, but like, of course they didn't want to come back. Why would they want to come back and be trapped in these things that these lantern cores were siphoning energy off of? I like this sort of is a symbiosis where they're able to exist while we're able to exist. Yes. I work for the city of Anaheim, and I do we deliver trees to people for free. So people want trees in their yard and stuff. We deliver that, and we have a yard where it's just trees, but there's also like buildings. And I always find it interesting whenever you see like trees or plant life sort of build up around abandoned buildings. Like I like that sort of nature versus man-made. And I really, really like this concept. And I think it lends itself to like future storytelling. If they need an entity to go on a mission, they're just there. They don't have to be in the power batteries. It's like they're creating this pool where they're free to live, but also their energies are going into the different central power batteries. Still don't know what's going on with that Sapphire one. They left that one out, and I want to know why. I want to know why they left that one out.
It looks like in the square there are people wearing Sapphire colors.
Yeah. And Carol's around. She's still a Star Sapphire. So the Star Sapphire central power battery is somewhere. And is it Predator? The Star Sapphire entity?
Yes.
The Star Sapphire entity is in there. But where's the battery? Where's the battery? That's what I want to know. Because it's definitely not there. So it's really interesting. Still no name for it, so I'm still going to call it Lantron. We get a lot of Lantron, the construct, the Voltron construct from all the Lantern cores. We get a lot more action with what Lanterns Live coined. Someone in the chat coined it, was Lantron. There's some shots in there. If you want to pop those open, the shots where the giant Mecha Aya was fighting Lantron, and the Mecha Aya was breaking up into like little pieces, and there's like thousands of Manhunters drawn, was absolutely amazing. That like these shots, like that one on the bottom left corner, was my favorite image of this issue.
Oh yes.
Look at that drawing, and look at surrounding all the different Aya Manhunters breaking off. Like, I want to see this. I want to see this in live action. I'd see it on an animated thing. It's the artwork is so good. You can really see the motion. That one too. Like those are all drawn and colored.
That is funny. The difference, the blue and the yellow. I mean, sorry, the red and the blue. The difference that they put in there. Man, there's so many different things that are going on in this issue that are a wrap up to the Manhunt. Let's call it the Manhunter arc, and then also a setup for whatever goes forward from here. And I think Morgan Hampton did this fantastically, where we're satisfied, but we still want more. Like there's still a tease of what's coming next. And I heard he's already like 3 issues ahead into the next arc. But to me, what was crazy about this issue and what was interesting was the juxtaposition between Aya and the Manhunters, where she's talking about the empathy versus control. And I felt like there was also like an AI versus, what we are dealing with right now with AI emotions creations. Yeah. And she's like, you will never be able to do what I do. Like, you don't have the capacity. Quality is more meaningful than quantity. And that whole thing, I love that argument that she was having with the Manhunters. And she's like, I'm basically like, this is why the Manhunters are obsolete versus when the humans came in with their emotion and the cores. And Aya is like, I am like the next step or evolution of that. And all of that stuff to me hit home. I was like, man, this is great. And I just watched, what was it? Dang, I just watched something about empathy where a hero was using empathy as their weapon. And I was like, man, this is hitting home for a lot of stuff that I'm watching or reading this week. I can't even remember what it was, but this just another great idea from Morgan. Great execution.
Yeah. I got to tell you, like, it's touched upon in the Green Lantern series, in Green Lantern the animated series. There is a conversation where I believe it's on the Blue Lantern planet, which is not coming into my head right now. Odom, where Aya takes a half-beaten Manhunter and has a conversation with the Manhunter because she's struggling with her emotions. Now, for those who haven't seen the series, Aya was created using an AI, but with a sliver of Ion, the living entity, put into her to kind of keep checks and balances emotionally, so that she doesn't become a full AI like a Manhunter. It was basically Scar created this sort of hybrid of a Green Lantern emotion, willpower being mixed with AI. And Aya's struggling with that, and she sits down and tries to have a conversation with a Manhunter who works in like absolutes. Like, emotions detected, no one escapes the Manhunter, and Aya cannot reason with this Manhunter. It's just a little bit in that one episode. And so it's really nice to see Morgan Hampton take that to the whole next level and really explore the Manhunters, who are programmed robots whose sort of malfunction, they like malfunction, like they're programmed to do what's right, but their idea of right is to clear out emotion. Like, emotion is a weakness, much like Clue in Tron Legacy.
Yes,
it's basically like, you're supposed to make the perfect system, right? And Flynn is like, yeah. And he's like, okay, well, if it's going to be a perfect system, people and emotion can't have anything to do with this. And the Manhunters kind of work in a similar way. They see emotion as a weakness and started cleansing planets of all emotion, and that means living beings. So it's kind of nice that Aya's like wrestling with her own sort of emotion, because she says in this issue that she's felt emotions. She has emotions. Aya is a living being in a metal body.
Yep. She said she's code with emotion. I was like, oh man, I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think she mentions love. And I gotta tell you, dude, like the Morgan does this thing where you're like, cool, the issue's over. They won, they saved the day, everybody won, everybody's happy. But he does a little coda on the end of each storyline and shows where the characters are. Like, and where like John's gonna head to Earth with Katma, and like that's cool. And they were saying bye to Joe and stuff. And but there's a moment with Razor and Aya where Aya's sitting on Razor's lap and like embracing him, and them talking about like, you know, never letting go, like just being together. And for me, as a fan of the show, Green Lantern animated series, it was really nice to see. It's the first time we got to see it, because we almost got a first kiss during the Starbreaker supremacy, which got interrupted by an explosion. And we haven't really spent a whole lot of time with them. But it was nice to just see that like now they can like just do something, like just be together, and as it should be. Razor's still a Red Lantern, and we'll see if that changes. And we'll see if it's something where with this new power, or with the way that the entities are working, will these lanterns be able to change what their emotion is and wield different powers based on the situation? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like John Stewart fighting as a Green Lantern, but all of a sudden there's like some rage villain there. Can he turn blue and suppress that rage villain? Can he turn to red if he needs to hit something really hard? It's really unclear how this works, and I think it lends to a lot.
Yeah. That's gonna be
look at this, dude. You'll never be alone as long as I'm around.
I saw that and I said, that's Ralph right there. This is the love letter to the series, to the animated show. And Morgan Hampton, it feels like he definitely had the influence going into this of the Green Lantern animated show. And with these recent issues, I feel like his love of anime is coming out of the Lantern mechs, and then
Lantron.
Yes, Lantron.
He needs a name for it.
And the Chrome, also kind of, I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan. So in Dragon Ball Super, he goes beyond, like the next evolution is Ultra Instinct, and the hair turns into kind of like this chrome color. And it's like the next stage of Goku's, like he just, there's never a ceiling for it. But that's what this feels like. It feels like, oh, this is the next stage of the Lanterns, the emotion, everything is going up. And I just love everything, how everything came together in this issue. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah. And moving forward, I hope that this is like integral to the story and not just like a gimmick, like that kind of shows up and goes away. Like Alpha Lanterns kind of came and gone. The first Lantern kind of came and gone. So I'm really hoping for some like really, really like thoughtful and interesting stories using this concept, because I think it's a really interesting concept.
Yeah. And the very last page, Jessica calls them Alpha Guardians. She's like, these are going to be our new stewards of emotion in symbiosis, Alpha Guardians. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm interested to see where that goes.
And then he's going to want all the power.
Yeah. Them, everybody working together feels different. Like it doesn't feel the same as previous. Like this feels like the next stage of the story. And I also love the last thing that he always puts in there. He said, next month, the Lanterns go up against space capitalism.
Yeah.
That I was like, what is this?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm interested to know.
Did you notice a little art change when it goes to Guy's apartment on Oa?
I didn't. I think the colors were a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, it's always interesting. I liked all the art in this. There wasn't anything that I disliked.
Nothing distracted me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there was two artists on this. It was Fernando Passarin and
Yeah.
Jose Rip. Rip
or YP. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's
So
funny. I lent my friend a New 52 book, I believe, Green Lantern Corps, and Fernando Passarin like worked on that book back then.
Oh wow! Oh,
I don't think I had known Fernando Passarin's been a GL guy for that long,
dang.
or if he just worked on that one arc and then came back for this run. But art's great.
Yeah,
Art's great. Colors are great. I feel for whoever colored and inked and drew all the little, the tiny ayahs.
Yeah.
You just got to sit there and do it, I guess.
Listen to a podcast.
Yeah.
Man. And I posted on Threads when I got done. I was like, this book is probably my current favorite comic book that's coming out right now. Like, it just continues every month to deliver. Like, there's nothing gets dropped. Like, there's no loss of quality from month to month.
There's nothing in it that really hits you over the head too. Like you talking about AI versus human and emotions and stuff like that doesn't hit you over the head. Because when I read it, I was just like, yeah, this is similar to something that happened in Green Lantern the animated series, but you're totally right. Like we're going through AI stuff now. And like, I didn't even think like, oh, this is sort of a social commentary on things, but it totally is, which is great writing. It's like, you know, like all the best sci-fi, puts in social commentary without, you know, hitting you over the head. And I really appreciated that. I think this book is also my favorite book. I've been enjoying it a lot more than Green Lantern, but that's not to say I don't like Green Lantern. It's doing something right now that feels authentic to 90s Kyle Rayner, which I appreciate because it definitely feels authentic to like the old Ron Mars era of Kyle Rayner. It's just my only issue is like, I'm ready to do more Kyle out in space. Like I loved, and I recommend, Green Lantern New Guardians, the Kyle book. If you get the chance, if you're ever bored and you just want to like pick up something, if you have like DC Ultimate or whatever the app is called, I'm sure they're there. But go ahead and check out, Green Lantern New Guardians. It's basically, it's Kyle Rayner, Bleeze, Larfleeze, Arkillo. It's like all those guys. Soranik seems to be back. It looks like Morgan Hampton set up the fact that Soranik is now going to be working as a doctor on Oa, which is really, really nice. Really nice. She was gone way too long, and I hope she gets into more stories soon. Yeah, really happy with this. And again, anybody else who's like kind of bummed about lanterns being so Earth-based and not having like two Earth lanterns and stuff, you should be reading the books. Everything you want is in the books, especially Green Lantern Corps. Yeah.
And I feel like this is the starting blocks for Morgan Hampton, because this is his first ongoing. And at San Diego Comic-Con, it just got announced that he's going to be doing a Steel ongoing series. And he was kind of hinting at it with us backstage, but he couldn't tell us. And it was like, oh, that's what he was talking about. So I'm going to be picking that up. I can't wait.
Yeah. I'll read it. Yeah. I'm not like the biggest like sort of Superman fan and Steel fan and stuff, but it might be the perfect introduction for me.
Yes.
To read Steel. I really like Morgan Hampton a lot. Cool dude. Good writer. There's not much more I can say. Check out the book for sure. Vactor, we've gone over an hour. We're at an hour and 10 minutes. There's so much Lantern stuff going on. So you've got stuff going on over at This Comic Cooks. Everybody follow Vactor. Vactor, do you have anything coming up on your channel that people should be looking out for?
I am trying to do lantern stuff to tie in with lanterns. I did a Jon Stewart short, so check that out. But man, I'm just really excited for Lanterns Live, for everything that you're going to be doing, Ralph. And thank you for inviting me. Always, I would love, if I have the opportunity, to chat Lanterns with you, because this series is like the most anticipated show for this year for me.
Yeah. And for me, listen, they announced today that there's going to be an official Lanterns podcast over on HBO Max, and it'll probably show up on YouTube as well. Do me a favor. As soon as you're done watching the show live, come over to my channel before watching that one, because we will have a live chat and we'll be talking about stuff like, you know, Garrett Dale Hunt possibly being Black Hand, Paul Ben Victor possibly being Atrocitus. We'll be talking about that live immediately following. And then once we're done with that, I'm going to go watch the official Green Lantern podcast, because he's going to have like guests that I can only dream of, probably like Aaron Pierre and Kelly McDonald and Porna Nagajathan and Jason Ritter. Like, it sounds like they're going to get everybody over on that one, including like Chris Mundy, Damon Lindelof, Tom King. I will leave you guys with this. Damon Lindelof is very busy right now. He's very busy right now working on a different show. He's in a writer's room. So he's not going to be able to join me currently, but there is a possibility of him joining me in the future. And then he may have put me in touch with somebody else to hopefully talk about on the show as well. So make sure you're subscribed, hit the bell icon, because I usually get my schedule up pretty soon, pretty far in advance. So you can check out the shows coming up, and you're going to want to hit the bell icon so you know when those shows go live. Thank you very much. If you want to hear more about the show, Lanterns, I did a member-only live stream on Monday that is 100% replayable if you want to watch my thoughts on Lanterns. It's there. All right, Vactor, thanks for joining me. Everybody check out This Comic Cooks, and I will catch you guys in Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 4 days. Lanterns, Season 1, Episode 1, the pilot, is in 4 days. See you guys then. Until next time, beware my podcast. It's Lanterns Live. Bye.
Hi, I'm Shayna, CEO of Baskin Lather. Years ago, my sister Aaliyah lost all of her hair, and doctors said it would never grow back. So our mom formulated her own products with all-natural, 100% organic ingredients. Today, Aaliyah's 4C hair reaches her waist. Our home remedies grew to one of the most trusted Black-owned hair care brands in America. See what our bestsellers can do for your hair and beard. Go to BaskinLatherCo.com. That's Bask and Lather, CO.com.